How did not everyone know we're crushing on each other?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for our favorite bits of Friends trivia that even die-hard fans would be surprised to learn.
Do you realize we almost made it 10 years without that coming up?
Number 20. Color palette costumes. One of the most memorable aspects of this sitcom is the outfits, since all the friends have their fair share of iconic fashion moments. It turns out these looks were carefully curated by the show's fashion designer to ensure each character stood out on their own, while simultaneously fitting in with their co-stars.
Joan and David boots on sale, 50% off.
Oh, how well you know me.
They're my new, I don't need a job, I don't need my parents, I've got great boots.
Starting from the first season, Monica was usually dressed in neutrals, Rachel was given a color palette of blues and greens, and Phoebe could be seen sporting fun patterns. The boys also wore clothes that complemented their lifestyles and personalities, and with this much thought being put into the characters' wardrobes, we're not surprised that fans are still trying to replicate these looks decades later.
It's not that we don't like the comedian, it's just that that's not why we bought the ticket.
Number 19. Chandler and Monica getting together wasn't planned.
I'm still on London time. Does that count?
Oh, that counts.
Oh, good.
Friends just wouldn't be friends without our favorite couple, Monica and Chandler. Yeah, we said it. So it's pretty shocking to find out the creators of the show originally weren't planning to have them last as a couple. But that all changed after the audience's overwhelmingly positive reaction to Monica and Chandler getting together in London. Because of this, their storyline had to pivot.
It was a brief thing, and we'd have some fun with it afterward as they both like, oh my God, what did we do?
But the way the audience reacted, we realized there's more to this.
Believe it or not, Monica and Joey were originally intended to be the sitcom's long-running couple, and we're very happy to see the show ultimately ended up going in the direction that it did.
Chandler, she wants you for the rest of her life. We look at you and we see you together, and it fits.
We just can't imagine not seeing Mondler's romance play out, so we have to give kudos to the fans who were in the studio audience that day.
The audience went insane.
We were just standing there. This is insane. We just let them go.
Number 18. Matthew Perry got Julia Roberts on the show. This episode is chock full of memorable guest stars, with Jean-Claude Van Damme playing himself and Brooke Shields playing one of Joey's fans. But it's Julia Roberts' role as Chandler's old friend Susie that leaves its mark with viewers. Matthew Perry was actually the one that got Julia Roberts to guest star, and his methods for doing so were just a tad unorthodox.
She's been saying some really nice things about me. I'm like blushing all the time.
They've brought me a lot of joy in my life, and so it's sort of, you feel a little giddy, you feel a little silly.
Legend has it that after Perry sent Roberts flowers in an attempt to bring her on Friends, she requested a paper on quantum physics instead. Perry did just that. Roberts made her iconic appearance, and the rest is history.
That was in the 4th grade! How could you still be upset about that?
Well, why don't you call me in 20 years and tell me if you're still upset about this?
Number 17. 7 Friends. It's pretty hard to imagine the friend group including anyone outside of the main 6. But during the show's run, NBC wanted to mix it up.
You're stomping. It's disturbing my birds.
You don't have birds.
I could have birds.
Rather than incorporating a recurring character like Gunther, Janice, or Mike into the mix, they wanted to try to appeal to an older audience. So the idea for an older man named Pat the Cop was born, not to be confused with Pat the Dog.
Okay, I hate dogs.
He was supposed to join the gang occasionally, and it even went as far as the role getting cast, but the idea was ultimately scrapped, and we're gonna go out on a limb here and say that was the right decision.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Eric. I'm going to be Chandler's new roommate.
Number 16. Gunther was a real-life barista. As far as side characters go on this series, the bright-haired, bold-fashioned Central Perk barista is up there as one of our faves. James Michael Tyler was clearly perfectly cast as Gunther, and it turns out this is due in part to his real-life experiences lending to his performance.
Fellas, these guys were here first.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Didn't realize.
There you go.
Thank you, Gunther.
He was originally cast as an extra, and when it turned out he was the only background actor who could work an espresso machine, he became Friends' resident coffee guy. As we know now, that small role became a staple of the show, as Gunther would go on to appear in a whopping 185 episodes.
I could not have imagined just a better experience. All these guys were fantastic. It was just a joy to work with them. I felt very, very special.
Number 15. There was almost no Rachel in the final season. Friends doesn't make sense as a show unless all of the main characters are a part of it, so we can't imagine a final season without one of the core 6.
I know. It was just... it's just the perfect way to say goodbye.
Jennifer Aniston was hesitant to return for season 10, as she was dealing with personal matters all while her career outside of the sitcom was taking off. Not only would the last episodes be different without Rachel, she never would have gotten the closure to her story that we now know and love. We also have no idea how they would have resolved the Rachel Ross storyline, and that final scene in the empty apartment with only 5 friends would have felt sad and weird.
Wow.
I know. Seems smaller somehow.
Needless to say, we're relieved she had a change of heart. Number 14. Blackout across NBC sitcoms. Season 1 has some of the series' most memorable moments, like Carol giving birth to Ben and the introduction of Ross's pet monkey. This gem is the 7th ever episode of Friends, with its simple plot bringing forth all its charm.
The entire city is blacked out. Mom says it's all of Manhattan, parts of Brooklyn and Queens, and they have no idea when it's coming back on.
It turns out, however, that the one with the blackout has a deeper backstory. Other NBC sitcoms also featured episodes with a blackout theme on the same night. The episodes were promoted as a part of Blackout Thursday, a campaign designed to highlight 4 of NBC's best Thursday night sitcoms: Mad About You, Seinfeld, Madman of the People, and, of course, Friends.
That's right. This network-inspired Blackout carries over into 2 other New York-based sitcoms, Madman of the People and Friends.
We think this idea was genius. And what can we say? We love a subtle crossover. Number 13. First episode survey.
Everybody relax. This is not even a date. It's just 2 people going out to dinner and not having sex.
Sounds like a date to me.
We think the pilot episode of Friends is pretty much perfect, but it turns out NBC wasn't so sure. The network put out a survey to studio audiences in order to get their thoughts on Monica sleeping with someone on the first date, as they thought it would not be well received.
So you still think you might want that 5th date?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Through our modern-day viewing lens, this doesn't seem like a big deal, and even kind of strange to poll an audience about that kind of storyline. But in 1994, it was considered a little risque. With positive reception from viewers, the plot point was kept in the show, solidifying the sitcom as a forward-thinking staple on TV that never shied away from taboo topics. Number 12. Friends and Home Alone. We love the episode where Monica and Chandler show Joey around their new house in Westchester. While we may have been distracted by a young Dakota Fanning making an appearance, we couldn't help but also notice that this house looked awfully familiar.
Well, if moving here is going to make them happy, don't you want them to do it?
Yeah, maybe.
Then you gotta let them go.
Some sitcom sleuths compared footage from this episode to scenes from one of our favorite holiday flicks, Home Alone. Based on the view from the front windows where you can see the neighbors' homes, it was discovered that this house was none other than the McAllisters' residence. We'll just look past the fact that one was set in Chicago and the other in New York, okay?
Hey, where you been?
Oh, just, looking around. But you know what? This house is great.
Number 11. The producers wanted Courtney Cox to play Rachel. After 10 seasons and countless rewatches of the series, we can't imagine any other actors in the roles of these beloved characters. So it's hard to believe that Courtney Cox was originally offered the role of Rachel Green.
Monica.
Yes. Yes, she is. Hi. This is my friend Rachel. Hi.
The producers initially envisioned Monica as edgy, snarky, and tough, while they wanted Rachel to be more of an upbeat, happy-go-lucky character. While Cox fit the bill, she brought more dimension to Monica's powerful demeanor. Luckily, Cox herself felt that her personality was better suited to the role of Monica Geller, and we can't help but agree.
You see, I put the wrong name again. Because,
You're that stupid.
Number 10. The main characters from the show are named after All My Children characters.
I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Al Minza and his pyramid of dogs. Take any job you can get and don't make on the floor.
The creative minds behind Friends were clearly fans of soap operas, because not only did Days of Our Lives feature heavily on the show, they also decided to take inspiration from another soap when naming their 6 leading characters. All the names of the Friends are taken in some way from All My Children.
That sucks. I was buried in an avalanche.
What?
I used to be Bryce on All My Children.
Both Ross and Chandler are named after Ross Chandler. Joey is named for Joey Martin, Phoebe after Phoebe Tyler Wallingford, Rachel Green after Janet Green, and Monica after Monique, aka Daisy. Number 9. The white dog statue belonged to Jennifer Aniston. In Season 2, Joey temporarily takes up residence in a fancier place that he decorates with some eccentric pieces. One of these is an oversized white dog statue that's been named Pat the Dog.
The dog.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'll take it. My gift to you, man.
This wasn't just a good find by the prop department, though. The dog was actually given to Jennifer Aniston by a close friend as a gift to commemorate her first day on set. Aniston lent it to the show for the episode because she thought it would fit well with Joey's new design aesthetic.
And if you hated it so much, why did you buy it in the first place?
Well, I had a whole ceramic zoo thing going over there, but now without the other ones, it just looks tacky.
They liked it so much, though, that they made a bigger storyline for the statue and kept it on the show. Number 8. Bruce Willis allegedly wouldn't accept pay for his appearance. Rumor has it that Bruce Willis's famous guest appearances on Friends actually took place because of a bet. Willis and Matthew Perry, who plays Chandler, were releasing a movie together called The Whole 9 Yards.
Why did you kill him?
Well, I had to kill one of you.
Well, then you definitely made the right decision.
Allegedly, Perry was more confident about the film's success than Willis was, and the two agreed that if it debuted in theaters at number 1, then Willis would appear on the show for free. Whether or not this TV legend is true, Willis's performance was a memorable one, and it garnered him an Emmy for Best Guest Appearance that year. And he donated his salary from the show to a variety of charities.
I'm just a love machine. But you have, baby.
Number 7. The show creators co-wrote the theme song. Any serious Friends fan probably knows the iconic theme song like the back of their hand. But did you know that it was actually written specifically for the show? I'll Be There For You by the Rembrandts was co-written by the show's co-creators, Marta Kaufman and David Crane, along with Kaufman's husband and members of the band. And you know the iconic clapping? That was actually a last-minute addition. Oh, and Rembrandt member Danny Wilde confirms that it's only 4 claps, not 5 as some people think. Initially, the song was only recorded to be as long as they needed for the show's intro, but they eventually expanded it into a full-length tune for radio. Number 6. The creators knew fans wouldn't like Joey and Rachel.
Kiss me.
Rach, it doesn't say that.
No, I'm saying.
But
Just
what?
don't talk.
When Marta Kaufman and David Crane pitched a storyline where Joey and Rachel begin to have a more complicated romantic relationship, initial reactions were staunchly negative. The story arc lasted from Season 8 to Season 10, and most fans never really approved. What you may not know, however, is that the show's creators always intended for these two to be poorly matched. They said later on that in real life, sometimes the wrong people fall for each other despite the fact that it's never going to work, and they wanted to explore that reality in the show.
I'm crazy about her.
And she feels the same way?
I think so.
Number 5. The opening credits were shot at Warner Brothers Studios.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way.
If you're on a friend's tour in New York and your guide offers to show you the fountain where they shot the show's opening, you should probably ask for your money back. While many think the famous fountain scene was filmed in either Gramercy or Central Park, it was actually shot on a studio lot in LA. In fact, Friends was never actually filmed in New York at all, with the exception of exterior establishing shots. The show was filmed in front of a studio audience on the other side of the country in Burbank, California.
So many different episodes are like, you know, Lisa playing guitar up there, Jen and I, our first kiss, like the pilot opening the umbrella.
Number 4. The cast worked hard to get equal pay. If you watched Friends during its original run, you may remember some news around that time about the cast's salary disputes. When they were first hired, all 6 actors were paid the same amount per episode, $22,500.
It was not my idea. Thought this is what we should do. And
Lisa was making the most. She was the richest,
no.
and she said no.
I was making the least.
In season 2, however, Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer were given raises to amount to $40,000 per episode. One season later, they decided as a group to conduct all salary negotiations together to ensure equal pay for all the main actors.
It may have been Courtney's idea, and I think it was. She said it was, but I maybe they spoke and Schwimmer called me, but and I just said, oh yeah, okay.
Clearly their negotiations went well because by the final season, they were each making $1 million per episode. Number 3. All the Friends have lived in both apartments. It's pretty standard Friends trivia that all 6 main characters have lived in Monica's apartment, but did you know that in fact they've all lived in Joey's place across the hall as well? While Joey and Chandler live there together for much of the series, they switch apartments with the girls for a time in season 4.
Did you see the size of the closets? I can't believe we live here.
Then in season 5, Ross moves in during a dark period in his life. Later, when there's a fire in Phoebe and Rachel's apartment, Phoebe moves in with Joey, though it ends up being short-lived and Rachel eventually takes her place.
Could have been a hair straightener.
Oh. This is where I keep the pizza. And hey, where'd the napkin go?
Number 2. Phoebe and Chandler weren't meant to be main characters.
Donald Duck never wore pants. But whenever he's getting out of the shower, he always puts a towel around his waist. I mean, what is that about?
While fans think of all 6 Friends as being equally important, in the initial conception of the series, 2 characters were actually meant to be supporting cast members. The original plan was for the main storylines to focus on Monica, Rachel, Joey, and Ross, while Phoebe and Chandler would be more peripheral figures. Clearly, the chemistry shared by all 6 actors soon changed that plan, because by the end of the series, those 2 were integral parts of the major storylines, just like the others.
Okay, let's play my game.
Are you yellow-bellied, lily-livered? Draw!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Ross and Rachel weren't meant to be the central romance. When you think of TV's most iconic will they or won't they couple, you probably think of Ross and Rachel.
This can't be it.
Then how come it is?
In the initial plans for the series arc, however, they weren't meant to serve as the main romantic storyline of the show. It may seem hard to believe now, but the central romance of the show was originally supposed to be between Monica and Joey, like we said. However, the producers decided that Jennifer Aniston and David Schwimmer had such incredible chemistry that it made more sense to focus on their relationship. We couldn't imagine it any other way.
People have been waiting 10 years to see this couple get together. We've got to give them what they want. We just have to find a way to do it so the journey is unexpected.
Which Friends fact surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments.
The best 10 years of my life. Love
That's
to
me.
all.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That is nice.
Marika!
Not as nice as mine.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.